Welcome to the show.
Welcome back to All Sorts of Sports, episode 62, the DMX episode.
I'm with that.
Yeah, I want to start off by saying rest in peace, DMX. I mean, yeah, and I kind of saw why. So I saw someone tweet this, and I kind of understood a little bit. I never really like to compare stuff like this, but they were like, yeah, I can see why Chadwick Boseman didn't say anything, because you saw all the stuff that happened in terms of like you got friends saying like, yeah, like he's gone, but he was still here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I can see that you get to, by keeping stuff like that private, you get to kind of control the narrative a bit better because you get to release what information you want to release. I think the thing with Chadwick, I mean, I get it. It's a rough comparison just because of how Chadwick and DMX are just completely different in the sense of the way they do stuff. But I think with X right now is just, I think I said it on the pod a couple weeks ago, in the sense of like those guys that could have had that GOAT status, but you just see the impact. Like even this morning, like I was on my YouTube is now doing this bit where it just automatically plays stuff. I never like when it does that, but it's just been doing it. And to hear Fat Joe was talking to Eric B on IG Live last night. And when you hear Eric B and how Fat Joe was like, yo, I saw a picture with Rakim in X. Rakim don't smile in photos. And X brought it out of him. Like,
no, I saw the video.
Oh, did you watch that?
Yeah, I watched. Did you watch? No, I'm saying, did you watch the video of X and Rakim when they first met?
I think a while back, because it sounds familiar. I just haven't seen it recently.
Yeah.
And then even this morning, another dude that I put on that list as far as guys that I said are underrated, I didn't put him in GOAT status, but it is somebody else I talked to who's also pretty much on his deathbed, is Black Rob.
Yeah.
And I saw the video the Black Rob posted about X too. It's just, this shit's sad, man. And I think the reason that it hits with X is that he had the lyrical content, of course, right? But I think the big thing was he's one of those rappers that made you feel. Yep. It's the same thing like Pac, right? Like Pac's not my favorite rapper, but there's one thing you can't take away from him. He made you feel something. And I think with X is just that emotional tie to, like, you just think back, like, I was starting to realize I got more memories hip-hop wise with DMX than I might have with any other artist, because I remember what that song made me feel or how I felt when I was listening to it at any given point in time in my life.
And the movies.
Well, I hated the movies. I hated most of those movies.
I actually liked them.
I didn't like Romeo's died. No, I'm not. No.
I actually went back to watch those movies by myself.
I love Belly, but I don't. I
loved Romeo Must Die, especially when like Jet Li was playing football.
You got terrible taste. That's all I'm fucking saying.
You've been saying that since you met me.
You got terrible goddamn taste in movies. All right. I did have to watch a Madea movie 2 weeks ago. Girlfriend basically forced me to watch a Madea movie.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
No, it was.
Romeo Must Die was way better than that.
I'll give you that, but I mean, Genocide might be better than that.
All right, I knew you'd take it too far.
But regardless, rest in peace, X. I mean, true icon. It was a lot of bullshit as far as the Twitter games back and forth, but he's dead, not dead, like you were saying. But look, regardless, right now, I think everybody I know X has been what I'm playing in my car. Anytime I'm going anywhere recently, and just prayers to his family and everything. It's a rough go.
All right. So let's start off today with the biggest game of like this weekend, possibly the year. K-Dot, you know nothing? No. I mean,
oh, you talking about the pasta sauce bowl?
Yeah, but that pasta sauce bowl has probably more viewers than the Super Bowl.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, it's El Clasico.
Oh my God, I hate you. Well, El Clasico is today. Barcelona versus Real Madrid. It's very important because Real Madrid is in third place, Barca's in second, and Atletico Madrid is in first. But the thing is, Atletico is 1 point ahead of Barcelona. Do you know the points you get for winning?
I have no idea what the point system is, man.
Okay,
I really don't.
Listen, I'm about to. It's simple.
All right, break it down for dummies. For
so
racing. for Americanized dummies that don't like things outside the. No, I'm joking. But
all right, Lily, I got you. All right, so you play a game, right? You versus another team. If you draw the game, you each get 1 point.
So if there's a tie, 0-0, or any
1-1,
okay,
yeah.
All right.
If you win, you get 3 points. The other team gets 0, and then vice versa.
Okay.
All right, so that's it. So Atletico Madrid is 1 point above us, and we still play them. Okay.
Okay. So that's a big deal.
If we control our fate now, because Barcelona has been in the mud the whole fucking year, basically.
What do the points do at the end? Is the team with the most points wins everything?
Yeah, they win the league.
Okay.
Yeah. How many more? Think of like NFL and shit like that, where it's like
I got like So it's going. So what the
I think it's like 8 games left or something like that.
So there's 8 games left, and then you're done. And it's Okay. All right. Cool. So yeah, pressure's on. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But the pressure's on teams like this, like fucking every day. Like you got even academy players or like youth players that go around the city and get heckled and hassled by. Yeah, but they're like fucking 12. You wonder why? Yeah, like young kids go there, and if you're playing for like certain teams or big clubs, like everybody knows who you are.
Mm.
Yeah, so I mean, if you think about it, that's why Luka came over from Real Madrid. He came to the NBA and he's cooking shit because he's dealt with this like his whole life. He's been playing against grown men since he was like 16.
That sounds problematic.
It does, but you know what I meant.
No, yeah, I know.
He's playing against.
He was having sex with grown men.
No, don't, fam. See, now we're gonna get.
I thought we knew what.
No. All right. So, Barca plays Madrid today. We hate them. They hate us. There's a bunch of political shit in the reasons why they hate each other. I thought you knew about that part, right?
So yeah, I mean,
Catalonia wants to be independent. And Madrid is the capital city in Spain.
Especially nowadays, everybody wants some nationalized independence of some sort, and it's just a mess because even what's happening in Ireland right now.
Yeah. All right. So, I do want to move on to one of the players on Barcelona who netted like the first ever hat trick that I've seen. Do you know anything about this?
No.
Okay, so Antoine Griezmann, he's a French striker. Huh?
You guys have mentioned that name numerous times.
Yeah, so he's a French striker that plays for Barcelona, and he just became a father for the 3rd time.
Oh,
so
this hat trick.
All 3 kids were born on the same day. That is nuts.
So they're timing it.
He had to time the nut every single time.
I hate that term.
Well, he timed the nut.
Shut up. I fucking hate that term. It just sounds just disgusting to me.
Well, he timed it. He's like, all right, 10:55.
No, goddamn, you had to make sound effects too? God, what the fuck? So that was the thing, was that I was trying to figure out, were they natural births? Were they natural births? Were there C-sections?
I don't know. But
because I mean, it seems like a bit now at this point. Like if that happens the first time, and what I did as soon as I saw the articles, I tried to look up his birthday or what holiday or anything. But I guess the timing was what, July. They had to have conceived. I don't know. Maybe they got some sort of special anniversary or something that it just times up. Maybe once a year.
Like around July, that's around the time that the season's over.
Makes sense.
So
they go home and they get.
Think about it. Like soccer players, they play basically like practically all year round, all the time.
So do the families usually travel, or they like meet up with them at certain points? Or
what do you mean?
So like, take versus football. I mean, nowhere near, I think, this crazy a schedule as they do in like European soccer. But for football, usually you have like if you're a quarterback of a team and you got a wife and kids, they stay home, and then we go on the road games. Sometimes you got 2 in a row. You're not coming home for a couple weeks. Then you come back home to there. Sometimes you got like the wife and the kids might fly out. Is it kind of similar to that?
No. So like teams, like let's look at Barcelona for example, right? They'll go play a game, come back. Like it's not a situation
you're not
where
like away for a while.
No.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, being that he's a professional athlete, I wonder how many illegitimate kids he has without the same birthday out there.
Nah.
I'm joking. I'm kidding.
No, I was like, I think he's married. But
Greeks man. Nah, it's cool. I'm just saying that, like, I doubt it just happened that way. There's got to be some form of planning involved with that.
That is the craziest thing ever. Yeah. I was like, if he does it again, wow.
Well, I'd say for my sister. My sister just gave birth last week.
Congratulations to her.
Yep.
Awesome.
And it's literally days after her firstborn.
Okay.
So it was like, I think they wanted it kind of around the same time. Just so they can, like,
if you think about it, it's like planning birthday gifts. That was my first thought. Griezmann got it easy. He just get one big ass gift, and it's like it's for all three of y'all.
That's all why three of y'all. What's crazy about my actually thinking about my sister's family is that her husband is born on the 24th of December. Mm-hmm. Then there's Christmas, and she's the 26th. So it's really easy in the sense that we just give them all, like, here, this is for everything.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Sucks for them. Great for my pockets.
True.
And then
you expecting like a bigger gift.
But it's like they got these clusters. It's like the cluster there, and then there's going to be the child cluster here. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations to your sister and to Griezmann.
Absolutely.
Want to move on to the negative side of soccer. A situation happened between our last pod and when we're recording today. Valencia versus Cádiz. I think I said that right. The Valencia players walked off the pitch because one Kala racially abused a black center back for Valencia, Dicabi. I don't think I pronounced his name right, but yeah, that video was very, very annoying to see. Did you see it at all?
Mm-mm. But right. I mean, it's not like it's soccer and racism.
Well, no, but this one's a little somewhat different. Here's why. So if you look at some of the old videos when stuff like this happens, you have like I think was like some of the old like Italian legends when like races, like when a player on their team is racially abused or something like that, they're not 100% supporting the player that was abused. That's one of the biggest issues. For example, what happened with Juventus like a couple years ago, where I think it's Moises Kean was racially abused, like by the fans. He scored a goal and he stood there and like he was showing the fans up like, I just scored. Like, you still want to do the monkey chants and throw bananas at me and shit. And then the center back, Bonucci of the team, was mad at the player that was abused. Not the fans. He was mad at the player that was abused because he said that Moises Kean was like, how do you say, was like antagonizing the fans.
Because what he did the bit after he scored?
Yeah, like after he's been abused the whole game.
Yeah, it's blame the victim.
Right. So in this situation with Valencia, Dicabi's, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, but his center back partner, Gabriel Paulista, was right there with him. He's Brazilian, but he's like fair skinned, but he was right there with him.
Where'd the Nazis go? Argentina or Brazil? Argentina. Never mind. Continue.
Okay. So that's nuts, by the way. But he was right there with them, and he was he was just as pissed off as the guy who's abused. And then the good thing about having cameras around everything and all that stuff is they were able to capture Juan Kala's like reaction. Because everybody knows he fucked up. Right. So then you look at him and he's not like, so he knows that the guy that was abused is telling everybody, hey, he said this to me. And if someone said that about you and you knew that you didn't do it, you would be adamant in saying, no, I didn't. He was just sitting there like, fuck. And then his teammates, Kala's teammates, they weren't around him. They were like, they looked disgusted. Like they were around the guy that was abused, like trying to figure out like what was going on. And that was a change from what I've seen in terms of the reactions before, like to me. Before,
no, got Q&A.
So before it would be, you would stand like they would stand around the teammate that was abusing somebody else, but now they weren't around him really. And he looked like looking at his face, he knew he fucked up, and his teammates knew he fucked up. And it was great to see that, it wasn't a situation that could just be blown over.
It's baby steps. Now, as soon as they get rid of the whole buying and selling of human beings and paying with things with terrorist money, I'll be more into it. Baby steps. I'm not
arguing with you. I can't argue.
I know.
All right. So we're going to switch from one form of football to another. All right, we're going to the NFL.
We're switching from soccer to football. Got it.
I mean, if you think about it, football should be what we call soccer.
I'm an American, which
logically
means that what we do.
Oh, is it illogical?
Huh?
You're an American. We're an American, so what we do is illogical.
I'm an American, so we do what the fuck we want, and ain't no foreigner gonna tell me different. So
it's illogical.
Doesn't matter. It's the same reason.
There's a lot of shit that's wrong.
It's the same reason. We call Native Americans Indians. Why? Because Columbus fucked up and landed in the wrong place and thought they were Indians. Do we say, oh no, we are bad? No, for hundreds of years we just call them Indians. Mm-hmm. Same thing with soccer.
Were we right?
Huh?
Were we right?
We're American.
Were we right?
No, we're American.
Okay, no, you said no. Yeah, all right, cool.
I said we're American. It's the only thing that matters. Right or wrong? No, we did it the American way.
Look, just say this shit's stupid, but we call it that because we're here.
Football.
Yeah, football. You play the game with your foot. Here, like, as one of my other friends calls it, hand egg. Because the football is shaped of an egg.
Your friend is an unoriginal asshole.
All right, hold on. We do got to bring this up. Ryan had issues with his car, which is why he's not here.
Oh, we didn't even mention it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll leave a little something in my final thought.
Okay, but yeah, his brother's the one who I got the hand egg from.
Ryan, your brother's an unoriginal motherfucker.
I love it. All right.
Hand egg.
So moving on to NFL news, Sam Darnold was traded from the Jets to the Panthers.
Yes, he was.
Not even for a first-round pick, which was very interesting to me. And going back to like the way that you thought that it should go, you were hoping that Sam Darnold went to the Washington football team. Mm-hmm. Has that changed? Are you upset that he's gone to the Panthers?
Well, I found it. I didn't know where you were going with it with the way that you phrased it. So, like, I get what they traded him for. What was it? A 6th round this year, a 4 and a 2.
Yeah,
2 and a 4 next year.
Yep.
I wouldn't pay that myself personally for Darnold at this particular point. If I'm the Washington football team now, 3-4 months ago, before Ryan Fitzpatrick was on the team. Maybe. But right now, with Fitzpatrick being on the team, I would never pay that much to have another guy show up when our quarterback room is pretty much full. Like, I'm almost anti-Washington drafting a quarterback at this time.
I get that part. But my question to you would be, would you rather have Sam Darnold for that amount rather than Fitzpatrick? Because I'm assuming the price didn't change.
Well, all right. That's a good question. Well, we don't know if the price has changed or not because people were feeling around
the whole time.
Well, here's the thing: is that Washington and there was another team. I'm lost on it right now. Were reaching out to New York a while back about Darnold, and New York was saying he wasn't available. Because I don't think New York would do what they wanted to do. As far
I thought it was the Panthers.
It might have been the Panthers, but they were like, "Yeah, we're not talking right now." And I think for Washington, it probably changed. Like, I'm guessing New York went back to them and said, hey, he's not available at that price. Do you want him? And Washington said, and we already got our guy. It's hard pressed for me to say. I don't know if I'm being biased in the sense of I've built up the Ryan Fitzpatrick thing so much that now I just don't want anything else. Or is it, I think Sam Darnold could actually still be something legitimately special in this league. I really do. I don't know if I want to have the patience to kind of build with him on that. Although I do. Yeah, I even take that back. I don't know, man. Like it's.
Yeah, because look at the structure of your team. Look at the structure of your team, right? You're not going to win it all with Fitzpatrick.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. If Taylor Heineke and Kyle Allen weren't on the team,
that shouldn't move the needle, though.
No, it does move the needle.
Okay.
If Taylor Heineke and Kyle Allen weren't on the roster, I'd have Darnold and Fitzpatrick, and I'd bench Darnold for now. I'd go into war with that because I think that Darnold can learn still more and try to get out of the bad habits that he probably picked up in New York.
I wouldn't. I mean,
how old is Sam Darnold?
He's young.
He's like 24, I think.
Yeah, but that's shitty for Fitzpatrick in itself because he's put back in the same situations that he's been in.
How old is Fitzpatrick? How old is Fitzpatrick?
He's old.
Right. And how I think right now with Washington, he's on a 1-year deal, 2 years tops, maybe, I think. But I think it's a 1 year. We're not really expecting Fitzpatrick to be the lightning rod for the next 10 years for this organization. Yeah, so I think Fitzpatrick
I feel like that could have been Darnold.
But Fitzpatrick also knows going in here that while he's probably number one in the QB depth chart, there is a quarterback competition in the sense of Taylor Heineke and Kyle Allen. Because if you really look at it, Kyle Allen played really well last year before he got hurt. And Taylor Heineke, I mean, his resume last year speaks for itself. Even though it's a short sample size, it's something that you want to see whether or not he can actually build off of. When you have those guys, the two guys that are kind of, they've shown flashes, but they're unproven, you kind of put in that same category as Darnold. Maybe the ceiling isn't near as high as Sam Darnold's going to be, which is what I'm kind of saying is that while I was all for the quarterback festival at Ashburn where you bring in everybody, there does become a logistical issue with just how many reps any one man can take. So I just think it becomes a little much. If Fitzpatrick is not on the team, easy slam dunk, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But I also think it's a combination of having all those guys on the team right now, which just makes it hard to see whether or not you're going to really develop anybody when you're kicking the tires on all three guys at certain particular points in time.
Well, I'll say this, like, you guys are in a weird spot, in my opinion, because your defense is great, right? You have weapons on offense that are still young.
Yep.
I don't know the situation with the offensive line. Can you shed light on that part?
Offensive line, they outperformed last year. We do have a problem as far as our guard. I think 2 or 3 time Pro Bowler this time, Brandon Scarif, whatever, how the fuck is his name? Apparently, they offered him a contract and he turned it down. It would have made him the highest paid guard in the NFL. So it seems like he wants out. So if that's the case,
but then at that point in time, did y'all move him? Or are you still on the team?
It's literally happening right now. We franchise tagged him.
Okay.
But the thing was, Washington's been talking to him nonstop, and they offered him a contract to make him the highest paid guard in football.
I wouldn't sign it either.
What?
I wouldn't sign that deal either.
Why?
Look what's coming in the next 2 years.
That's okay.
How long?
Fine, but the rumor is right now he wants out. So that's the rumor right now. It's not as just that
you should have traded him to us for Gabe Jackson.
I think it doesn't like it.
Guard.
We're not trading guards like hand up. Plus, there are a few offensive linemen that I actually really like in this draft. But there's I don't know what direction we go in. Maybe you can package him with somebody and go get a stud. I know that we're in the conversation and the rumors as far as Orlando Brown here in Baltimore, because he wants out. And I think that's something that we would absolutely make a move on.
Orlando Brown plays left tackle, right?
Yeah, we would want a left tackle. I think right now that's the glaring hole on this offense is the left tackle spot. Because I mean, after Trent Williams left, that leaves a hole, regardless of
who left.
Trent. It doesn't matter. I mean,
I know.
It's after Trent left, it left a hole.
We lost Rodney Hudson, so that
Trent's better, but there's Trent's better. Come on.
All right, is Trent Brown the best left tackle in the game?
Trent Williams or Trent Brown?
Oh, Trent Williams. That's what I meant.
He's getting up there in age, but after I saw what he was doing last year, he's at least top 2.
All right, so is Rodney Hudson.
Yeah, left tackle is more important.
Yes and no.
Left tackle is more important. It's the most important position on the offensive line. Come on.
Yeah, but don't discount
I'm not discounting. I'm just saying that you can't. There's the most important position on the offensive line is left tackle.
It's not one of those like it's not even close.
If you ain't a left tackle, if you only got a left tackle, that blind side of that quarterback is going to fucking get hurt. Yeah, the center, you just got to be competent. Like I get it. The center is very, very important. I mean, competent in the sense of being able to read defenses and call out what it is you need to do. It's very
switch
important.
The line and like
I get it, but I'm saying that the most important position on the offensive line is still left tackle.
It's like you can put like help.
Follow the money. Follow the money. Who's get paid more on the offensive line? Left tackle.
All right, okay? Fine. All right, so Sam.
But here's the thing: Darnold in Carolina. I feel terrible for Teddy. Teddy. But I love this. I love this for Darnold. I just need him to get out of there. And it was something that I was before the draft that Darnold and Josh Allen came out of. Remember, right before, everybody was very low on Josh Allen. There was a lot of stories that were coming out about Josh. And I just remember Sam Darnold had to be the guy to defend him. And now the tables have turned. And I think justifiably so. You cannot truly critique his career in New York.
Yeah.
Adam Gase is the worst coach.
But everybody says that now.
Good.
That's something that everybody says. And shit, even Adam said it. He's like, we failed him.
And that's the last point, because we got to move on, is the if it had been just a 4th round pick, if I'm watching, I'd do it. But that much capital, along with how crowded that room is, I can't justify it at that point.
But my point was before the Fitzpatrick deal.
Before the Fitzpatrick deal,
like it would be really interesting to see what the price was before.
I think it's just they opened up the gates and they just said, "Fuck it, he's on the block." But Darnold was one of the top 2 guys in my opinion that I wanted on the team. It was him and Stafford. So I'm still high on Darnold.
All right, let's move on to like another podcast called I Am Athlete. Do you watch that podcast?
I watched the entire thing.
No, I'm saying, do you like
generally?
Watch it? Yeah.
If something hits the Twitter sphere and it's like, hey, look at this clip, and then
I watch every episode. It's very entertaining and it's very.
I have some issues with it,
but it's very cool to see like players that we grew up watching, like their mindset after. In particular, this previous episode, to see Andre Johnson on there and to actually hear him speak and to talk about the fight that he had with Cortland Finnegan, because that was a moment.
Huge moment. I still watch that clip.
That was.
I never liked Finnegan, so I still watch that clip.
Yeah, but his response was hilarious. It's like, it was built up over time, and I told him he about to get something he don't want. He did.
Yeah, it was
Andre Johnson. All right, so the big moment, of course, was in regards to Brandon Marshall discussing the differences between the NBA and NFL players and their contracts. And Chad Johnson and Channing Crowder was like, the NBA players, like, their contracts are guaranteed. Brandon Marshall was like, no, they're not. Not all of them. I think he said only like 4.
He said only 4 guys on the team have guaranteed contracts. The rest of them get cut tomorrow.
And you got the meme of the decade on there right now.
Decade? Come on. You're overselling that.
I am. But just give it time.
Okay.
Just give it time. It's going to replace the white kid with the veins in his head.
It ain't a meme. It ain't a meme, but the Natasha Bedingfield and everybody finally understanding what it is that she's got. I think that. But here, motherfuckers been sleeping on her. But I'm a British. I listen. Never mind. I'm getting
Brandon Marshall.
Motherfuckers don't understand. I love Brandon Marshall and I love Chad. Fragile Freddy. I'm sorry, he wasn't fragile. That's Fred Jackson. No, Fragile Freddy was Fred Jackson.
Right.
Fred Taylor. Really always liked that dude, Jacksonville, when he was with Mark Brunell and Keenan McCard. Was it Keenan? No, Keenan McCardell was in.
Keenan McCardell.
He was there. Jimmy Smith.
Jimmy Smith, yeah.
Good dude. And then when he finished in New England with Tom. But it's one of those things where, sometimes we're guilty of it here on this spot. At least I am, just being loud and obnoxious when you think you're right about something. I've never been as wrong as he was, though. Yeah. I'll admit that. I will tell you if I don't know something, but it's just, I did find, while everybody's kind of laughing about how he fucked it up, I thought the conversation itself was an extremely important one to have. Like that to me is the biggest part out of it. And it was crazy how I thought that if you really pull back the curtain, they were both right and they were both wrong in a lot of different ways, at least in my opinion. I think that what Chad's point is that the guaranteed contracts is what gives you that leverage is true. Like that's the one thing that the NBA has over is that that money is guaranteed.
So I don't have to be here.
I do not have to be here, and there is a certain power and a weight with that. And I think that there is something to be said that what Brandon's saying is that if the NFL is going to facilitate any sort of actual change, it's going to take the top guys to do it. But that also being said, if the top guys do it, what do you do about all the other guys that do not get paid anywhere near as much as still got mouths to feed? Which is where I've talked about even when it came to last year with the Black Lives Matter stuff or before that. I've been on this pod saying that they need to set up some sort of general fund or anything to help these guys get by if they were to say we're going to walk off. Like the NFL can do what they can as far as scat players and everything, but the last time they tried to do that was in the 80s, and the times are very, very different. And if people had this to kind of latch onto and saw that the players were doing something about it, I think the narrative changes. And I think I think right now is probably the best moment to possibly do something like this because of the way society's kind of changed that narrative. It was 5 or 6 years ago, not even Colin Kaepernick taking a knee. Shut up and play, boy. It's kind of changed. While you go to Pro Football Talk, check out the comment section. There's a lot of those guys that still exist.
But remember, there's also the fact that people follow players now more than they have before.
Yep.
In comparison to just teams.
And what he was saying, like Jalen Ramsey is outspoken and you want to hear what he says. When Richard Sherman says something, you might not agree with it, but you can listen to what he said. You have these guys with these platforms, and he's right. You got guys like Drew Brees that end up being the Trojan horse kind of guys to get everybody kind of in line with what the league wants to do because he's getting his money. I don't blame necessarily Drew for that, but it's going to take some intestinal fortitude to really go for this thing. So, like, when you started hearing, look, I give Aaron Rodgers a ton of shit. I do. But one thing I will give him credit for, when they were doing the negotiation as far as like the CBA and everything last time, he was outspoken. And he released that statement and he said, this is bullshit, basically. And I agreed with him. And it takes guys like him, guys that most guys in the league at least respect, might not love.
In the most important, quote unquote, important
position. And this is where the criticism for D. Smith, the NFL,
Smith,
the NFLPA guy. Also in, I think Troy Vincent might still be there. Some other guys. I think Alan Faneca was up.
Yeah.
It's not like it's just these figureheads. They are players that do it, but they need to have, if they don't already, there needs to be kind of like what they have in the NBA where you got Chris Paul sitting at that.
Like current players. That's what I think Brandon Marshall said too.
Players to actually say, hey, when you get guys like, it doesn't even got to be the quarterback a lot of times, but if you got a JJ Watt sitting there at the table, along with a Khalil Mack, because you definitely been the quarterback, along with like an Aaron Donald. If you got Tom that can sit down at the table, I doubt Tom would do it. But if you got those guys to sit down and say, no, we're united on this, and this is what we need to have happen, I think there's something to be said about that. And I think that's the only way that they're ever going to get anywhere is if they have that unity. But it's so hard. Because these guys making league minimum that are coming out of college that they didn't get paid for and risk their careers, and their parents still have to
and their health.
Dude, you got mom and dad just still working and pulling hours, and you're like, yo, I don't want them to have to work anymore.
Like shit, even Brandon Marshall was saying how his folks is living in a motel.
So it's like, how do you tell those people like, hey, you're not going to be able to provide for your family because we're going to fight for a bigger cause. And even when we fight for that bigger cause, you're still not going to get paid anywhere near what we're going to get paid, but at least your $500,000 is going to be guaranteed. That's the long game. How the fuck do you get somebody to agree with that if they got bills to pay?
Money.
Which is where it goes down to. And I know that a lot of times when like the players are locked out and everything, there have been some of the bigger guys within their teams have helped out other players. I know that's happened for a fact.
One of the Pouncey twins was saying something like that. And in regards to the last time they were discussing the CBA, he was like, hey, look, I know that this is going to seem crazy, but like, I got you. The vets in this locker room, they got you. We can help you get through this time until we all get what we want now, but will need later.
There needs to be something more structured, because also when you're looking at it, pride takes into account too. If you think you're a grown man, you worked your ass off, you're in a sport where you get paid for doing what it is you need to do competitively.
It's a business. It goes from being a sport to a business. All right.
But the NFLPA needs to do a better job, and they need to reorganize the way that they're doing that.
And they need to be tougher.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to a more serious topic, which, I saw your reaction.
No, I don't know where we're going with this, and I thought the last one.
Think about the most serious topic in the NFL right now.
Deshaun?
Yeah. I don't have much to say, because I'm still waiting for all the facts really to come out. But yeah, his lawyer didn't help him too much with all the statements he gave. Do you have anything you want to add on it?
Kind of just back up what I was saying last week again.
Okay.
Excuse me. It ain't looking good.
Nope.
For Deshaun right now, and it's problematic as shit, because it's if your only defense right now is, hey, the first defense was, hey, look at all the massage therapists that he didn't touch inappropriately. It's like, so are you supposed to, if I'm being accused of bank robbery, do they go and talk to every bank that I didn't rob when I went in to cash a check? Like, what does that prove? Number one. Then if your second thing is that, because of COVID, he had to have how many tens and tens of massage therapists, that actually, to me, works the exact opposite end of the spectrum, because if it's during COVID and you want to make sure that you're being safe and other people being safe, you want to limit the contact you're having with other people? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's and now that you have, I know it's at least one, it might be two now, that have gone outside of whatever it is that the civil suit is looking like, and they went to law enforcement, and they have nothing to do with that lawyer.
Yeah.
And I did hear that I didn't read the story. I think I saw a headline about was it the judge or somebody said that they have to identify themselves?
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So because and I think it's Rusty Harden, Deshaun's warrior. He was like, he's like, we can't make any sort of defense when we don't know who's accusing us at what. And I was like, that makes sense.
I guess so, but it's also, why the fuck do you have that many massage therapists that you don't know which ones are even accusing you? And maybe, look, here's the thing. Under no circumstances coming out of this, Deshaun looked clean. At all. Like, he is tainted forever now. And what, Nike dropped him, right?
No, they paused it. So did Beats by Dre, which, we can talk about Beats by Dre later.
It ain't good. Because, I don't see a scenario in which there's this much smoke and not at least a little bit of fire.
All right, so we'll keep our ears out open for it, and then we're going to pivot to the final sector, which is the NBA. The ESPN released the top 25 under 25.
I did not see this.
Wow. Okay, so this is going to be fun. All right, you ready?
All right.
Guess who number one is?
Luka.
Yep. Number two?
Zion.
Okay. Number three?
Under 25?
Yep. You're not going to get it.
How's Trey?
Nope. I don't think Trey's on the list. But I'll check.
I don't know how old he is.
He's the same age as Luka, really.
Okay.
But
I'm not.
You want to know who number three is?
Yeah, I got
LaMelo. What?
Already?
What? Everybody is pissed off at this list because there's no way that LaMelo is number fucking 3 on this list.
Look, here's the thing. I'm careful in what I say about LaMelo because
let me keep going.
Yeah, sorry.
Because I'm gonna keep going on the list, and then you'll be like, huh? So number 4, Donovan Mitchell. You see what I mean? You see? Now I'm gonna keep going. Number 5, Jason Tatum. LaMelo's not better than Jason Tatum. Number 6, De'Aaron Fox. I have issues with...
Throw the whole list away. Don't even say anymore.
Number 7, Ben Simmons.
Oh, my God.
Number 8. Number 8 is where everybody was like, what the fuck is this list? Number 8 is Devin Booker. Why is Devin Booker not higher on this list?
What's your boy's name that works for ESPN?
Stephen A. Smith.
No.
Keem.
Keem. Right, Keem. Keem. What the fuck, man? It's on you.
Yeah. Stephen A. Smith was on ESPN. Was like, I have nothing to do with this list. I don't know what the hell we were thinking. Everybody needs to be lined up and drug tested.
Well, now I feel like an asshole because we were debating that power ranking before the season, and if they made this list.
All right, wait. Number 9 is Bam Adebayo. Number 10 is SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 11 is Brandon Ingram. 12 is Jaylen Brown. 13 is Jamal Murray. 14 is Michael Porter Jr. 15, Ja Morant.
15?
Yeah. 16, Trae Young. 17, Mikal Bridges. 18, Sabonis. 19, Anthony Edwards. 20, DeAndre Ayton. 21, Tyrese Halliburton. 22, John Collins. 23, Jared Allen. 24, Lonzo Ball. 25, Colin Sexton.
So I'm guessing what they said is these are the 25 best players under the age of 25 in no particular order. Is that
No. It's kind of like they said like these are the best players, like projected to be the best, like for like taking into account what they've done already and their age.
So when it's all said and done, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
Is that? I'm just trying to find the justification of what it is.
All right, hold on. Let me.
But right. The one thing I was gonna say as far as the LaMelo thing is that
based on future potential.
All right, that's their out then, right? Like it's. Look, I'll be the first to admit I so far look like a jackass as far as LaMelo Ball and my take on that. I just thought he had a buzz, huh?
You and Ryan, like
was Ryan with me on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was wrong. I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong.
I'm sorry if you weren't, Ryan, but we can check.
I'm gonna take responsibility for my take on that, and that was I look like I'm wrong, and maybe it's how it pans out. That's the thing. When you put that caveat at the end of the list, it's your out. Cool. I can't criticize it that much because I mean that's what you're saying. Your future prediction in
LaMelo Ball is not going to be better than Devin Booker.
Who knows? But that's the whole. But here's the other.
Fox not going to be better than Devin Booker.
Here's the other point with that though. If that's the caveat, then no, I can't criticize the list anymore. But what I will criticize is why does this list exist? What's the point? If that's what you're going to do,
you know what the point is?
To get us talking about ESPN.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's it. They hired Trump's team. They out of work now, and they just know how to fucking incite and troll motherfuckers into talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. If you look at that last list, I think we got 3 or 4 podcast episodes worth of content list alone. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, but yeah, I'm pissed off that Devin Booker was put so low. He should have been way higher on that list. All right. The final topic is this one's weird. Paul Pierce got fired from ESPN.
Ooh.
Because he decided to Instagram live a poker game, really. And you know what happens at poker games, I guess. You have entertainment. You have entertainment. You have drinks.
What do you have entertainment for? You're playing poker. That's the entertainment. You're playing a game.
When you got money like that, they do.
I don't get the point of that. You're not playing poker anymore. I don't want to do both.
No, I talk to people who have a lot of money and they play poker games. And sometimes at poker games, you have that type of entertainment.
No, fair enough. That just sounded stupid.
Yeah, but when you got that type of money, like you just do whatever the fuck you want. Like
no, when I got that type of money. When I got that type of money, I worry about lawsuits. So ain't not a lot of people coming to my fucking house.
I don't even know if that's his house.
It's probably his fucking house. It looked like the video that he sent afterwards where he was smiling. Looked like it was outside of that fucking place.
Or he could have still been there.
I don't know, man. Paul Pierce is a fucking idiot. Like, number one. But it wasn't even that worth it, right? Like, I mean, the chicks.
And it was 700 people watching, and you got fired from Disney.
And whoever that dirty motherfucker is that asked for Rachel Nichols, you disrespectful ass. I mean, don't get me wrong. I fucking love me some Rachel Nichols, but nah, that was wrong. That was fucking wrong. So fucking wrong. Plus, doesn't she's always, who's she always talking about? No, this NBA player she's always talking about. I forget who it is.
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. Oh, you know they smash it. I'm joking.
It's like, you worse than the comment.
No, if I'm being completely honest, like I know it's problematic to say things like that as far as female reporters, right? Like and here's the thing. I have followed Rachel Nichols' like entire career. I'm a huge fan of hers. Mm-hmm. The way she smiles when his name gets said is on another fucking level. But okay, whatever. We're getting back to Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce, that wheelchair shitting dumb idiot. Like, what? How is this worth it?
I think he wanted to be fired.
Maybe that's the case. To do what? Like, he's always just. Not to mention that fucking blunt he was smoking. What's that little tiny bullshit? Like, if you're gonna go out like this, then fucking go out. Like, Love Boat scandal. Like, go fucking ham. Not, I had some fucking COVID-ridden strippers at my house to play a shitty poker game while I have to IG live it because I need people to see what kind of life I'm enjoying. What kind of flex is that, dog? Like, nobody left there not one person like, oh, Paul Pierce got it. It was, nigga, you worked at ESPN. Like, you had a cushy job. Ain't nobody looking for you for any insight because you just say dumb shit. Like, you just get in the bag for just being a dummy. What? Nobody. When's the last time Paul Pierce said something insightful about basketball that you listened to? It was like, oh man, that was a good point. Exactly. Just getting chill the fuck out. Like, you can still do that shit. Why you gotta go on IG Live? Why? What's the point? It ain't like it's like a jewelry or something where I can be like, all right, that's flashy, whatever. I want to be like that. It's what are you doing?
We'll never know. But yeah, he got offers to talk about NBA on different adult websites, so we'll see where he lands.
If I gotta hear that goddamn Pornhub music before I see that cocksucker, I'm gonna be very angry.
All right.
You ever see the video of dude class or there's like a prank? He just he plays the song, and you see all the dudes just kind of like, oh, what the fuck is he doing? Like most of the women had no idea what's happening, and every day was like, oh.
There was another prank of a kid in college where I don't think it was a prank. He thought he had his microphone in, but he didn't, and he was watching porn in the middle of
I've
class.
seen that one. I've seen that.
That was nuts. All right, so final thoughts. I got my vaccine shot yesterday. Johnson & Johnson. So it's a 1 of 1. I feel like shit, but
oh really?
Nah, I mean, nothing I can't handle. So yeah. Do some husband duties. It's like shit around the house, and then prepare for the game at 3:00, El Clasico. That's my final thought.
I just want to make a lasagna now.
Hey, I'm gonna cook pizzas. We're gonna make pizzas today.
I'm doing now. I made a banging lasagna 2 weeks ago, and I make my lasagna from scratch.
Nice.
Get it. I enjoy cooking. So many final thoughts. It's been a weird week for me. Just a lot happening in life, but my dad. Well, I ain't gonna talk about all that shit. All right, here's who I'm gonna focus my final thought on. Ryan.
I knew
Ryan.
It.
It's 2021, and we're still, dude, where's my carring shit? Like, what is wrong with you? I remember my first beer. Like, there's no other explanation. Like, unless, like, he still had his phone, so it ain't like he got robbed. He didn't get carjacked, because carjack is happening all over fucking DC recently. It's literally, he got shit-faced, parked his car somewhere that he doesn't realize, and then woke up today and didn't realize. That's why Ryan's not on the pod today.
Or he got towed.
Which is most likely it probably fucking got towed. I mean, even though those cars are fairly easy to steal. Like I can get inside his car and I can high wire that motherfucker. Honda's made it really easy.
And he's put a lot of work into it too. So hopefully...
Yeah, he has, but I'm just Ryan, come on, dog. Like I remember my first beer. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like I don't get it. I've only lost my car once. I mean, other than it got actually stolen, but I don't think this is the case. I really don't think this is the case. And also being that and I'm sure he's at the same place that I had to help Mauricio try to locate his shit that one morning.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. It's a trend. Look, whatever. I'm not mad or anything. I think earlier, because of everything that's happening outside of my life, just to keep it real, when I did hear that Ryan was not going to make the pod and we were thinking about canceling it, I was upset. I was upset because I like doing this pod, but I think that there is an element of how seriously to take the pod and in the sense of what it is the podcast itself does. I had somebody contact me because I do another show, and he asked me to start the conversation, to kind of know where he is. We were going to gauge the conversation. He asked me, what are your goals with this? And I think that was a good question. I think that that's a question that ASOS it kind of finds themselves right now with too. Which is that what is the goal for this pod and where it is that it's going to be and what it is that we want to do going forward. Maybe this is my public message that neither Mauricio or Ryan are going to say, because they'll never watch this video this long to make it to this point. But it's just, I don't know. I think, and I'm not even being passive aggressive right now. This is honestly just what it is I'm thinking. And I don't know. I want to do this show, and I want to do this show the best of our abilities, but it takes work to do. Like, when we're done with this, I got to edit it, and I have to edit it around my life, and we have to figure out how to market it. And the equipment it takes to do this shit, it takes time, it takes energy, it takes a lot of effort. And I think we need to figure out what part of it is the fun part compared to what part of it is the work part. And if people don't necessarily want to do the work part, that's okay. Doesn't change relationships. But what I don't want is a situation like the Joe Budden podcast or so many other podcasts where you can't tell that line, and now the thing that's happening on the work part and the personal part get blurred, and whatever's happening on here affects the other thing. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah. Same here. All right. Well, it's a good DMX episode.
Yeah. We could end the podcast like that, but I still have to say the Death Star do go boom.